picking up songs off of albums. It seems impossible, and it's really not. It's really not that difficult. The way to do it is to find songs that you know pretty well that have parts in them that repeat over and over and over again. A simple pattern, a chord progression, something that sounds very simple to your ear. It doesn't change quickly, just something that keeps doing the same thing over and over again. What you do is you get your guitar in tune and you play along with it. And you kind of fish around for chords until they sort of sink in there. And when it seems to sound right to your ear, that means you're onto something. And if something repeats enough, then you're going to have time to pick up what the chord changes are in it, believe it or not. And it's not important that you play every little part that you hear, like every little solo phrase or every little rhythm lick or anything that you hear popping in and out. What's important is that you can just play along from one part to the end of the next part. That's all. You don't have to fill in all the blanks. Just play a simple chord change throughout the whole part. I'll give you an example of that right now. It's simple, keep it simple, something that repeats over and over again, gives you time to figure out what it is. There's a lot of albums out there that are going to help you play guitar. You just got to find the right ones with easy guitar on them. And stuff that's easy to play, you feel good, you know, you get it done, you know, in a quick period of time. It's not brain surgery, you know, it's not very difficult. But if you start out learning stuff like Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and this really progressive stuff, you're going to get discouraged because it just ain't that simple. But there are a lot of albums out there that you should check out. Some of them are, okay, let's see, Green Day has a lot of great albums. I think the biggest hit was called Dookie, and that's a good album for easy guitar. Offspring has an album called Smash. The Donnas has an album called Get Skin Tight, that's really good. And what else? The Ramones. Any Ramones album is going to be good for easy guitar. There's a good compilation of the Ramones called All the Stuff and More. You should get that and just play straight through it. All the songs have nothing but bar chords in them. Aside from that, you should get maybe the Eagles' Greatest Hits 1 and 2. And those have a lot of G chords, D chords, and C chords in them, and you'll be able to pick them out pretty easily. And you know, start with those, and anything that's like that and closer to the type of music that you want to play, go check them out. All right, here is an example of how to play along with a song on an album. Now, first of all, you want to pick a simple song, either one that you can pick out the backing chords by yourself or have somebody show you the backing chords or whatever. But the main thing is, again, I have to stress, you do not need to play every single part of the song. You don't need to play the lead solos or the melodies or anything. Just be able to keep a chord going behind the whole back of the song, and that's pretty much your goal. And you'll move up from there, but don't worry about all the little parts. Just be able to hold down some kind of chord in the background. So let's jam it. if you ever want to develop a sense of timing, you need to get this thing called a metronome. And it comes in various shapes and sizes. Most of them are little small boxes, and they make a continuous beat. And with this beat, you should play along with it all the things that you're working on, whether it be rhythm or lead or any type of thing, chord changes. I'll give you a couple examples of things that you can use a metronome for to practice. Let me give you some advice about using your practice time. Don't waste your time practicing. Don't sit around 8 hours a day playing guitar, noodling around. All you really need is about an hour a day. If you can stick to that every day, or even less, a half hour will do fine if you're focused on what it is you're doing. Now, things you should avoid is like being distracted, like playing guitar in front of the TV, just noodling around, you know, not really having an aim to what you're doing. Just be focused on what you want to do. Have a goal, you know. Today I want to learn this song. Today I want to work on this song. Today I want to work on changing chords smoothly, or any of the techniques that we've gone over. Have a goal for each day and get in there and do it. And even if you only spend a half hour a day on it, that's a lot better than a guy sitting around 6 hours just wanking off. A lot of guitar players waste a ton of time learning a bunch of stuff that is completely useless to them only because they think they have to learn it, because their friends are doing it, or because they think you're going to get good by doing something. The only thing that you really need to learn is the music that you like. Concentrate on the music that you like. And if it's difficult music, then of course you're going to have to learn simpler things along the way, but try to find music that you like that is not too hard on guitar, so you get encouraged as you learn, you know what I mean? If it just seems too depressing if you try to learn these hard things and you can't do it. Find simple stuff that you particularly like, that you want to learn, and make that your goal. Don't learn what you think is going to make you good. Learn what you like to hear, and then you'll enjoy your guitar playing a lot more. Having a guitar teacher is a really good investment for a beginning guitarist. And even if you can't afford to have one every week or every month or so, if you can get a lesson every once in a while, it's really going to help you out at the beginning stages. Now, you got to be really careful. There's a lot of guys teaching, and a lot of guys don't really teach you what it is you want to learn. They teach you what they can teach best. You got to shop around, man. You got to find guys who are going to teach you exactly the kind of music you like and get you on the right track. You don't want to go to some teacher wanting to learn how to play rock, and the guy wants to teach you country or jazz or something else that you can't stand. So, you know, take a lesson here and there, and, you know, if you like the teacher, if he teaches you the way you want to learn, then stick around. If not, you can go somewhere else and find someone who's going to suit you better. Let me tell you how I improved when I was a beginning guitarist. I didn't practice a whole lot. I practiced about an hour or a half hour a day, not really much more than that. And I practiced really simple music. But I think what helped me the most was I put myself in high-pressure situations all the time. Like, just when I could barely play anything at all, I was already trying to jam with other guys who were better than I was, just to, like, learn how they played and watch other people play and just figure out stuff and steal licks from guys and stuff like that. And I think that is really, really important. Being able to, like, get in front of other people, and even though you don't think you're all that good, just acting like you have some confidence, like you know how to play. Acting like you have confidence almost is as good as actually having the confidence. And then before you know it, you've got the confidence. So sometimes you just got to, like, get in front of people and jam. you got to get into a band. You got to get into a band as soon as you possibly can. Even if you can barely stand up with a guitar, you got to get into a band. Because I tell you, when you learn by playing in a band and you make a mistake in front of people, you're going to correct that mistake so much faster than how fast you'd correct it if you were in your bedroom making a mistake. So get into a band right away. So finding band members, it's really not that hard. You can find people at your school who also play guitar or another instrument, or you can find people on the bulletin board looking for other musicians to jam with, or you can put an ad up yourself saying, I'm a beginning guitarist, I want to join a band or form a band, and just jam with everybody who comes along, and you'll weed out the people who you like and people who have similar musical tastes to you, and just don't rule out anything, try jamming with everybody. You'd be really surprised what you learn along the way. Most likely before you find an actual band to jam in, you'll find another guitar player or a bass player that you can jam, 2 guys at a time or something. And what you want to do is just be a cool dude, take turns playing each other's favorite songs and learn what that guy likes to play and let him know what you already know and kind of trade information with each other and stuff like that. And always try to find someone who you think is better than you are. It's just like playing tennis. You want to play with somebody who's better than you are, so the game is interesting and challenging, and just don't let that guy know that you know that he's better than you are, because he probably thinks you're better than him. So it's really a mental thing, but try to stick around guys who you think are better than you are. And, just be fair, try to learn what that guy likes to play, and, don't be ashamed to show him that you don't know everything, just jam with people and have fun, and that's the way you work your way up. Once you're able to play a whole song from beginning to end, that means you're pretty much ready to join a band. So when you do actually find the band, you got to remember that a band is like a sports team, you know what I mean? It's all about teamwork. It's not about you anymore. It's about a team. So, just have common courtesy when you're playing in a band. Don't turn your guitar so loud that nobody else can hear themselves. And just be a cool guy, and try to learn the songs that the other guys want to learn as well as your songs. And you'll find that you make a lot more friends along the way and a lot more musicians. And never let on that you think that you're not much of a good player, Keep kind of an attitude of yeah, I can do that. Even if maybe you can't, just act like you can and people will believe it. So that's really good advice when you're in a band. And believe me, I'm doing that even right now as we speak. There are many, many ways to write songs. There's so many ways that I cannot even count them. But I'm going to give you a very general rule of writing a simple song. There are 3 parts. The first part is called the verse. And that's like a chord pattern or a chord progression, something that repeats where you start to tell the story of the song. The second part is called the bridge. It's kind of like the middle section, getting you ready for the big punchline of the song. And the third part, the main part, is the chorus. And that's what the title of the song is. So you basically need 3 guitar parts to write a simple song. I mean, you can do it with less, but the most simple basic structure is verse, bridge, chorus. And each one of those has a different chord progression, or like a chord change, similar to the stuff that I jammed along with before, where you play 2 or 3 chords and you repeat, you repeat, you repeat. So that's one way to write songs, is create them like that. Another way, which is very common, is to learn a song and change a couple notes around, change a couple chords around, and make it your own. And you would be very surprised, when you listen to songs, you say, hey, that song sounds like another song I know. That's because the guys who wrote that song just sort of copied it from another song and changed 1 or 2 notes around here and there. So you can do that too. Probably the coolest thing about being in a band is getting gigs, being able to play live, go out and do some shows. Once you got a band together and you can play 20 or 30 minutes at a time, a bunch of songs, they don't have to be perfect, but you can play, okay, you can get your way through a song. It's time to do some gigs. Just start right away, that's the way to build up some confidence, put some pressure on, get out there and play in front of people. Some of the best beginning gigs to get are at your high school or junior high school. Your auditorium or lunchroom, whatever, play at lunchtime for free, or high school dance or whatever, and just do it, because half the audience is going to be chicks. right from the start, 50%. That is a high percentage. I mean, people in professional bands play mostly to guys all the time, you know, but if you play in your junior high or your high school, half the people there are already chicks, so you got a good thing going for you. Aside from that, there's other gigs that you can set up. You know, you can play like in the local Legion Hall, you can rent it out for a couple $100. You buy a couple kegs of beer, and you charge people a few dollars to get in. They're drinking the beer, and you play in front of these people. You create your own gigs. You create your own shows. And even if the band is not that good, this is the way you improve. This is the way you make yourself a musician. Not by practicing in your bedroom, you know, because guys could practice for years in the bedroom, and then once they get in front of people, they freeze up, you know. So I say that you should get in front of people and play live from as early as possible. It's really, really a good thing to do. So set these things up yourself. I mean, sometimes bowling alleys will have a night where you can come in there and have your band jam, you know, or the Lodge or Legion Hall, anything like that. So make it happen. Get out there and play as a band as soon as you can. Now that wasn't so difficult, was it? I'm glad you made it to the end of this video. Now you have all the information that you need to play guitar, join a band, all that cool stuff. You know, if you keep doing this, you're going to develop your own style, and you're really going to become a good guitar player because you have a solid foundation to start off with. But for now, just have fun, get out there and rock, and I'll see you on tour.